Okay, I want to go over lamps next because they're annoying. Again, the lamp is the sweeper. So at this point, I've put my person in the kitchen. I've put my person on art. She's over here wrapping, or he or she is over here wrapping. What I'm doing then is I typically start with the hardest things. So I'll go to my lamps. And I go and I get every lamp in the house and I put it in one room. Because for me, I've found that if I put all the lamps, and this is dependent on the move as well, because sometimes I'll put lamps from like a master bedroom in with the bedding, because it's easy to just take a shade off and wrap the base in somebody's comforter or sheets, something like that, rather than using a ton of this. I do that sometimes. If it's a big move, like a huge home, I'm going to go get all the lamps. I'm going to take all the shades off. And that gives me an idea of how many lamp bases I have and how many shades. Because typically, wherever someone's moving, they're not always going to have the same lamps in the same room. That's with anything. It's like garbage cans. It's anything, anytime you're moving, you're not always. I had one lady get mad at me that I put all the trash cans from the bathrooms in one box. And she said, I wanted all my bathroom in one box. And I said, you wanted your trash can, your dirty trash can in with your towels and all the things you use on a daily basis and your shower curtain. That's how you want it done. And she said, yeah. So people can be particular, but I'd say 90% of the time I put like things with like things, because on the other end, you're going to take your trash cans out and you're going to figure out, you may just have one bathroom. You may have 5 bathrooms. Does that make sense? I always, always, always ask the customer, do you want me to leave your plungers and your toilet bowl cleaners? Because most of the time they're going to buy new ones on the other end. It's gross. If they do want them, save them till the very end. That's the hard way. In fact, and if a customer is not there, they get left no matter what, because we don't want any toilets overflowing. we don't want dirty toilet bowl cleaners getting put in with somebody's towels. It's just gross. So I will typically ask the customer, do you want these to come with you? And if they say yes, they all go into a box. Sometimes you'll see me put them in like a large box and they're all just sitting in there open, or a medium, something like that, so they know where they are. They're just gross. And so I just try to keep all that stuff together.
One thing I do is I put them in trash bags.
Yeah, or you can put them in trash bags and let them know. But I'll just ask them, hey, do you want these in a trash bag or do you want me to put them in a box? Most people don't care, but you can do it either way. So basically what I typically do with lamps, because you'll find if you leave the finials on, it's really hard to fit them in boxes. And one of my favorite things to do with lamps is collect all the bases, and I find the tallest one. And I leave, this one's not a good example because it doesn't go with it, but I would take this off and I would leave the finial already attached to this. You want to keep the finial with it, unless it's like a really awkward, sometimes they have these really awkward tops on them that make things weird. But most of the time people are going to know which lampshade goes with which lamp. Also, if they have this top part that matches this, they'll know. So you want to leave these on with it. This is a bad example because it doesn't fit that way. Typically they're inside of it. I'll do another one. So then I'm left with this base here. And out of all the bases, we'll put this one up here too. This is our little one, but you can see it's kind of ceramic. This one I can do with the finial off. So you want to take the finial off, and then you want to take the light bulb out. And so this is the first thing I do when I get to a house. I get all the lamps, I take the light bulbs out, and I take the shades off. Then what I do is I get a dish pack, and I get some brown paper. And what I do is, a lot of them, these are small, but a lot of the big houses we do, they have those big, intricate, fancy ones that are bulky. I get some that are really round like this, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this, and I'm going to get my scissors, and I'm going to cut it in half. We also have half pads that we can use for this, that are in those boxes from Uline. But when you've already got this, it makes it easier. Take one of these. I'm going to take my base. I'm going to take the cord. I'm going to lay this down at an angle. And I'm going to take my cord in the hand like this. I'm going to do a wrap like that. Put my cord here. and we're gonna roll it. And then sandwich it. Be careful with this not to know where your top is. And you're gonna lightly do that. I'm gonna roll it, and I'm gonna tape it. And that's how I want all lamp bases done. This one you'll see is ceramic, so what I'm gonna do is put a little bubble. So then I usually write base on it and what room it came from. So that way if they're pulling it out and they're like, oh, where's my master bedroom lamp? I'll put master bedside lamp. Or kids' room lamp base. And what I'm going to do, and the reason I use these is because they're so tall, they're amazing. I can put 4 to 5 of these lamp bases in one of these boxes, and then I write lamp bases, and I put how many are in there, a number next to it. So I'll write what room, or because it's not coming from a room necessarily, I just put lamp bases on it. So if you guys see a box like this, I would just always put it in the living room. Sometimes I put living room. In fact, I will put living room. So it just goes to the living room. Then they can get all their lamps out and they can distribute them around their house. To me, that's the best way to do it, because even if they have a master bedroom with bedding in it, or if they have, if it's coming out of a master bedroom, you could be looking forever for your lamps. To me, if they're all in one place, it just makes it simple. Especially if you've got kids and you want them to have their light for the night or something. They know where their lamps are. So you're going to put the bases in these. You're going to stuff it. A lot of times, sometimes you can fit 1 or 2 of these shades in the top of these. I've found, like that little one, I'd probably be able to fit on the top. But you got to be careful because those will damage so easily. So this one, I would, because of how it's a ceramic, what I would do is put, this isn't a good example of bubble, but you'd want to put a full thing of bubble. This is too small, but you want to put a big thing of bubble here. But same thing, you're going to wrap it that same way, where it's down. You're just going to have a little bit more of that bubble protection. Bubble always goes on the outside, so that it's protecting out. You're going to take your cord, and same thing, you're going to wrap it that way as I wrapped it. The reason I do the cord that way is it gives it that little bit of extra. And sometimes they come out a little wonky, but that's okay. Because if I have it a little bit wonky, it's still getting that extra protection in there. Nothing's going to hit this and break it. Especially with those top things, they break really easy. So for me, it's just they stick in, they come out easily, unwrap, voila. If we don't have enough of this stuff, and I typically, most houses, I'll go through maybe 2 or 3 of these, and then I charge them for these. So anytime I'm doing lamps in this, I charge them for the paper pad, each one I use. But depending on how many you have, you'll go through anywhere from 2 to 5 to get all the lamps done. So then you'll do the shades. Sometimes they'll fit in each other like that, but you'll want to put a little bit of padding in here. Just the more padding, the better. Something like this size. So again, I'll look at all my shades. Something this size is going to fit into a medium pretty perfect. And that's all that's going to go in this box. You never put anything else in a box with shades unless it's blankets or pillows, because those will pad them better than anything. So you'll put your padding, and then you're going to put it in here. And I'll look at that and say, oh, that's pretty flush. There's a little room at the top. And then I'm just going to pad the heck out of it. Or I'll put my light bulbs. Don't forget about your light bulbs. I forget about those sometimes. But it just kind of consolidates everything into one place for them. Their lamps and their shades go in the living room, and they're all in one spot. Then they know. So you have to be careful sometimes with this about packing it too tight. So say I stuff this, and then I can feel it pushing on these shades, and it's pushing kind of hard. That's going to damage those shades, because these shades, the tiniest little this stuff's pretty thin. The tiniest little push on it will break it. So these are probably the most difficult thing to pack in a house, mostly because of, even if you're packing it by itself, it can still get damaged based on the pressure you have on it, which is another reason I put lampshades top load a lot of times on these. I would always try to put the top load on these, whether you write it anywhere on the box, the top, the side, everywhere.